Well, hello, everybody. Welcome into the Shelby County High School Football Pregame Show. We're live here for another action-packed night of high school football across Shelby County. To my left there, you got Andrew Simonson. To his left, Tyler Rayland. We got several big matchups to talk about tonight as we kick off region play for the 2025 season. So it's going to be a lot of fun to see what we got on tap tonight. But first, guys, real quick, we talked a little bit about it in the office yesterday. Briarwood may have a little something for Ramsey, and they go into Legion Field last night, walk away with a huge region win. Andrew, you were there in person. Walk us through that one real quick.
It was an absolute crazy game. Definitely glad that I got to witness it down there, and it really did feel like a special game and a turning point for this Briarwood team. The run game just came alive in the second half, and this team just kept fighting until the very end. I was so encouraged by what I saw from the Lions, and I'm really confident in them now going into the rest of region play.
Yeah, Tyler, we talked a little bit about it yesterday. Proof that I did to kind of backtrack on my pick from earlier in the week. But Briarwood, the preparation they had going into that game, the defense continued to play well. Got to be impressed with them picking up a region opening win after an 0-2 start going into that game.
Oh, yeah, and it felt like there was blood in the water there. And once Ramsey had that blood out for him, it was a Briarwood feast. And like Andrew said, run game got going, and they've got to be really proud of what they did heading the rest of this region schedule, getting a win under their belt here in 2025.
Yeah, it was a big win for Briarwood last night. Cornerstone, the Chargers, also pick up a win last night. 3-0 now, right, Andrew? Is that correct?
That is correct. They're 3-0, the first team to 3-0 in the county.
Yep, first team to 3-0 last night. They will continue to roll along moving forward in AISA. 8-man play. Got a lot of excitement there. Coosa Valley also off to a 2-0 start there in the AISA and 8-man play. So going to be a lot of fun to watch those two teams moving forward. The Briarwood Lions and Cornerstone Chargers already in the win column here in week 3 of the high school football season and week 1 of region play. But now we shift our attention to tonight. We still got several games to touch on here tonight. We got the big one here at Chelsea High School as the Hornets going to welcome the Pelham Panthers to open region play in this big showdown. You got Oak Mountain at Prattville tonight. That's going to be a lot of fun to see which of those two teams can pick up a win. But the two games that you guys are at, Thompson, Tuscaloosa County, and then Shelby County taking on Sipsey Valley. So we got a lot to talk about in addition to that, several other games. So, guys, let's just dive straight in here and go right off the bat with Evangel as they take on River Oaks. And we talk about 8-man play. This is a big 8-man play or 8-man game for both of these teams.
Yeah, these are two teams who always expect to find themselves right in the mix once they get down to Panama City. So to get this matchup right now is a big credit to Tim Smith and both of these coaches for being able to schedule this one early on. So really excited to see how Evangel takes on one of Louisiana's best in River Oaks. River Oaks has been off to a pretty hot start, getting a good win under its belt last week, and just did a great job last season as well. Evangel looking really good so far, and really good, especially against APA to start out the season. But obviously, just that miss in the end proves costly for them. So I'm curious to see how they'll react in a game that's likely going to be low scoring again, likely to be coming down to the last few plays in this one. I think if Evangel gets a close win in this one, they're definitely going to be favored the rest of the way and have a really good boost of momentum going into the postseason. But for now, I do lead River Oaks because they do have that experience and that momentum on their side. But curious to see how Evangel plays in this one.
Yeah, Evangel loses their season opener 26-24, bounce back with a 40-8 win. Enter this one off a bye week. Tyler, where did you go with this one in your pick this week?
Yeah, guys, I went with Evangel, and I think here you're looking at a team that is much prepared for this kind of game. They've played 2 out-of-state teams already, and now they're going against the national powerhouse of River Oaks. So when you look at the play of this team, and you had 3 guys in Isaac Griffith, Jackson Morris, and Jackson Loudon last week who combined for 19 tackles, I think defense is going to be a primary key in this game to see who wins, along with Eli Black and how he plays, as he's just kind of a juggernaut for that Lightning squad. So I do think Evangel carries that momentum and gets this win done. But it will be a tough one against, like we said, a River Oaks team that has a lot of power under their belt.
Yeah, it should be a phenomenal game for 2 8-man teams. I expect it to be competitive and defenses to actually shine, which is a little bit off kilter when you look at 8-man play. You expect the offenses to play. Angel's going to walk away with the win there in that football game. with the way that their defense has played early in the season. We'll see how it unfolds, though. It could be very similar to their season opening loss, which was a 2-point game. I expect a similar style matchup there tonight. Let's move on to the HSA now as we look at the Montevallo Bulldogs traveling to take on Northside tonight. Montevallo sitting at 1-1, coming off a 33-0 loss to Sylacauga. Before we talk about this game, though, got to tell you about Montevallo Main Street right there in downtown Montevallo. Whether it's Friday Night Lights or a quiet Saturday stroll, there's always something special happening on Montevallo Main Street. From unique shops and local dining to community traditions and small-town charm, it's the kind of place where neighbors gather and Bulldog pride runs deep. Make downtown part of your routine before the game, after the game, and all year long. And obviously tomorrow, guys, Tinglewood Festival down there in Montevallo at Orr Park. If you've never been to that, such a special festival, one of the best in Shelby County. So make sure you get out to Tinglewood Festival tomorrow. If you've been down on the long road trip down to Northside, come back home looking for a way to relax and have some fun with the family tomorrow, get out there to Tinglewood Festival. Guys, this Montevallo game, you look at this matchup, and Montevallo, that first game of the season against Tarrant, they win, but they only win 14-6. Last week, they lose 33-0. And so this is a team that's got 14 points through 2 weeks and is taking on a Northside team that has given up just 6 through 2 weeks and scored 98. How does Montevallo get it right? Tyler, I'll start with you. Do they have a shot to figure something out tonight against a very good Northside team?
It's going to be tough. Like you said, 98-6 in the margin there, and you just got to find something if you're Montevallo and Langer squad. It's going to be tough against the Northside team on the road. Man, it's hard. I want to find the positive Montevallo here, but you're going to have to get some stops if you're the defense and just prevent the points from going on the board. It's as simple as that, and that's the hope there with Montevallo there on the road. Lean on Buck Ross and Jackson Holson back there tonight, but ultimately, I just don't think it's going to be enough with as stagnant as their offense has been. I think Northside wins big, and it's going to be an 0-3 start for Montevallo.
Andrew, what are your thoughts on this game? I know the expectation coming into the season, a lot of replacing key parts on this team, but the bond seems a little tighter with this group at the same time. Can they figure out how to gel in this one, get the skill on par where they need it to be to at least be able to compete in this game?
Yeah, it's weird because the vibes are definitely there for this team, but ever since the season started, it definitely hasn't translated onto the field. You look at this team overall, the defensive effort has been there at times. You look at last week against Sylacauga, a couple early turnovers, some good early stops, and limiting them to a field goal early. But the offense just really digging a hole for itself, causing multiple turnovers. And it's really hard to get back into a game once you have turnovers like that on the offensive side. So if the Bulldogs want to have a chance in this one and any games going forward, they're going to have to make sure to play clean, solid football, and definitely keep limiting them on defense. It's going to be a challenge against a Northside offense that is very, very dynamic and very, very high scoring. So I don't think that's going to happen this week, but definitely look for this team to get more chances as the season goes on.
Yeah, just the way that they're struggling right now on both sides of the football. Defense has actually played okay this season, but when you're taking on a team that scored 90-plus points through 2 games and only given up 6 points, that's what's going to be tough. I just don't think that they're going to have enough firepower offensively to give that defense time to work in to this game. They're going to be playing from behind. It's going to cost them tonight there on the road at Northside. Well, that takes us to the game that Andrew's at as he just jumps back on there after retweeting the show on X there. Andrew, Shelby County, Sipsey Valley. It's a big game all of a sudden. This is a Shelby County team that we expected to compete for the region championship this year. They fought 35-13 last week to Holtville, a week after picking up a season-opening win over Lincoln, 27-14. So both these teams, Sipsey Valley now 1-1 as well, coming off a 69-6 win over 2A Greene County, following a 62-27 loss to 6A Jasper. So very important. Both these teams sitting at 1-1, looking to get some momentum back, and you definitely don't want to start region play not only 0-1, but with 2 straight losses. So, Andrew, I'll start with you being at the game. What's the feel like, the sense going into this game for the Wildcats, and can they pull off an important win?
Well, so this was already a big-time game going into the season because you're looking at 2 teams who both made the playoffs last year. This was a tight matchup last year, a 1-score game, and 2 teams that we thought were going to be in the mix again this year. But now you have both of these teams sitting at a crossroads at 1-1, coming off of a couple of tough losses for them in blowout fashion. But for Shelby County right now, this is a team that you look at it on paper, and there are aspects of it that are getting better and other aspects that you look at compared to last season and you wonder what's been happening. Obviously, yes, the run game lost Anthony Palmieri, but with a couple of solid running backs, Devin Alexander, Tyson Duncan, and a really good offensive line, you expect the run game to be there, and it was there to a sense against Lincoln, and the pass game with Ryan Sipes has shown some explosiveness with some big plays to Dominic Woods, but they just haven't quite gotten it all together and gotten the drives across the finish line. So I think definitely they're going to have to make sure, take care of the ball on offense and make sure that you finish drives with touchdowns or field goals. Make sure that you get those points on the board and keep up, because that can definitely shore up any sort of defensive shortcomings that have been happening this season, which has also been a factor as well.
And I think the defense bounces back this week too. I think that's going to be a key in this game. They've got to play well defensively if they want to have success this year. I think that's the number one key in this game tonight, because that's going to lead to success for their style of offensive play. So, Tyler, your quick thoughts on this game. Do you think Shelby County bounces back from that 35-13 loss?
Right, I think it's going to be tough, and the thing is that Shelby County has to rise to the occasion here. It's region play now, and everything really does count towards your playoff chances. I think where Coach Ellison is right now is that what he feared came true last week, and that this team couldn't make the plays and mold themselves together to pick up that win against Holtville. And I fear that might be the same tonight. I'm actually the only one out of our group that picked Sipsey Valley to win, and I still think that tonight, because I think Sipsey Valley is very bipolar right now, and that they are the score or don't score a lot. So I think we're looking at a Sipsey Valley win, because that negative emotions carry over from last week for the Wildcats, Shelby County.
Yeah, I think some complacency got into their heads a little bit after the success last year. When you look at the Wildcats, I think that's a benefit for them, actually. Losing that early season game before region play, I think benefits them tonight. I think the Wildcats walk away with an important win to kick off their region slate. That takes us to the Calera Eagles, who are also looking to build some confidence after a Week 2 loss. They fell 27-7 to a very good Central Tuscaloosa team. We know how good that team is, and they competed in that one. So we'll see what Calera has tonight, but they're taking on, again, arguably an even better team in Benjamin Russell. An important game here. Their loss this season, 25-20 to Opelika, and a 40-7 win over a pretty good Central Clay team. So this is a team in Benjamin Russell I think competes for the region championship this year with Spain Park and maybe one or two others there in that in this region. And Calera right now, defense played a little bit better. Offense is still trying to find their rhythm. I just don't know that they can put it all together tonight. Tyler, I'll start with you on this one. What are your thoughts? Do you think Calera has what it takes to challenge Benjamin Russell in this game?
I mean, the number one thing is you've got to take Sedarian Morgan out of his game. And Sedarian, I mean, we've all three seen him, that he is one of the most dynamic wide receivers here in the state of Alabama. That's the first thing you've got to do. And in order for Calera to win, they've got to do what they did last week and go toe-to-toe on defense with Benjamin Russell's offense, except they've got to do it for all 4 quarters. They only did it for 3 quarters last week, and it cost them against Central Tuscaloosa. And unfortunately, I think, if Sedarian Morgan's scoring on them early, it's going to be too much. I think Ben Russell wins big here tonight, and it's just going to be too overpowering.
It was a 55-28 game last year. Andrew, do you see some improvement there this year?
Yeah, I think Calera makes it a little bit respectable, especially if they carry over some of that defensive performance that they had last week. Remember, they also faced an explosive offense in Central Tuscaloosa last week and really kept them limited through the first 3 quarters before the bottom fell out in the 4th quarter. I don't think it's going to be quite the same performance this week, just because, like Tyler said, this is a Benjamin Russell offense that's extremely dynamic, extremely explosive through the air, and 1 or 2 times at least, this Calera defense, or any defense for that matter, is going to get caught lacking. So I do think that while Benjamin Russell's certainly favored in this one, I think Calera starts to put together some of the pieces, build off of what happened last week, and put together an improved performance. I think it could be a 2-score game in the end, especially if Calera is able to find some consistency on the offensive side. But I do like Benjamin Russell to win this region opener.
Yeah, I think we may see a challenge, Calera challenge Benjamin Russell in this one for a little bit tonight. But like I said, I think Benjamin Russell may be the best team in the region this year. So that's what makes it a big test for Calera. They're just going to have to figure something out very quickly on the offensive side of the football. And like last year, they had success offensively. They had success at times defensively. they never could do anything consistently or put it together in the same game. And you're asking for a tall task to do that against a very good Benjamin Russell team. I think Calera will make it a close game for a little while, but ultimately I expect that we'll see Benjamin Russell pull away there in the second half. Well, that takes us to the Helena Huskies, who start 0-1 last week with a tough loss to McAdory. Just got off to a slow start, but now a great chance to bounce back as they open region play against Chilton County. Before we talk about this game, got to tell you about Oak Mountain Hearing, who just opened their new location in Pelham. Don't let hearing loss bench you this season. At Oak Mountain Hearing, we help you stay in the game so you don't miss a single play. Whether you need help with hearing aids, hearing loss, or tinnitus, Oak Mountain Hearing is here to help. Now open in Pelham. Call 205-728-1690 to set up your consultation. Don't let hearing issues affect your well-being. Hear every word effortlessly with Oak Mountain Hearing. 205-728-1690 or oakmountainhearing.com. Tyler, let's go over to you again real quick, and let's talk about this big game for the Helena Huskies. You look at this one on paper, it looks like Helena should be the easy favorite to walk away with the region opening win.
Yeah, I think that McAdory game really prepared them for this game, guys. I think Chilton County is really down right now, and this is where Helena has to step up to pick up that big first win, especially now that it is region play. You look at the positives last week, they had 27 rushes for almost 100 yards there. I think they can lean on that here against a weak Chilton County defense to win this game. And the big thing is that if Chilton County does get on the scoreboard, they got to stop the runs. And they gave up 21 straight points last week. I think if they can stop that, they'll be just fine. And I do expect Helena to get in the win column tonight. I would estimate it pretty easy by the second half. They're looking at a pretty favorable win.
Yeah, won this one 48-13 last year. Andrew, I think we all kind of expect more of the same this year.
Yeah, definitely, but there's still some areas of improvement for Helena to have in this matchup, and I think that's what they're going to use this week for, especially with the gauntlet of a 5-game road trip coming up. You got Spain Park, Benjamin Russell, Moody, Oxford, and Pelham all coming up in the next 5 weeks of the season. So this is going to have to be the game where they shore up a lot of those things that went wrong against McAdory last week and correct them as they go and face some of the top teams in the state of Alabama over the next 3 weeks. And you definitely look especially at the mistakes that they made on the offensive side, not being able to finish, making some mistakes. I think that's going to have to be cleaned up this week, and they're going to have to make sure they finish some drives in order to get as big of a win as I think they expect to.
Yeah, got to go out and start fast. That was their big thing last week, falling into that hole early in that football game. 14-0 early deficit they faced. This week, I expect them to start fast, build that momentum. They've got to start fast every game from here on out because the schedule, like you said, Andrew, gets very challenging the next few weeks. So big opportunity for Helena to come out, gain some momentum tonight. We all three expect that will happen as they pick up a big win and pull away from Chilton County. Well, guys, let's go. We got our game of the week here between Chelsea and Pelham. We'll save that one for the end. Let's jump into 7A and start with maybe a little bit easier of a matchup. Thompson taking on Tuscaloosa County tonight, right there where Tyler's at. He'll have you covered all night live on X with his live updates and then have the story and photos and some video clips after as well. Before we talk about this game, got to talk about Wayne's Pest Control. While the Thompson Warriors are playing defense against their opponent, Wayne's Pest Control is playing defense for your home. This football season, don't let mosquitoes, fleas, or ticks sideline your family's outdoor fun. Wayne's environmentally safe mosquito treatments will keep your yard clear, and their affordable Mosquito Plus program will also eliminate fleas and ticks. Protect your family and pets today and take the bite out of the great outdoors. For quality service and peace of mind, trust Wayne's Pest Control. Call 866-WAYNES-1 or visit callwaynes.com. So, Tyler, you're there right now. It's always a great pregame leading up to a Thompson football game out there at Warrior Stadium. This one seems pretty straightforward. The Thompson Warriors, a heavy favorite, went toe-to-toe with the number 4 team in the country last week, and Trent Seaborn, 360-plus yards, 3 touchdowns in that game against a very good defense, arguably one of the best defenses, if not the best defense in the country. And now you take on a Tuscaloosa County team that's given up 45 and 61 in their first 2 weeks. That spells disaster.
Yeah, it really does, and then big bold letters too, Alec. I think the thing that is very interesting about this game, welcoming Chris Bell back to Class 7A Region 3 here at Tuscaloosa County, being previously at Oak Mountain. And his Oak Mountain teams did give Mark Freeman some problems, but the difference is that Chris Bell does not have Evan Smith under center this time. And you look at this Tuscaloosa County team. They've been outscored 106-27 over their first 2 games. They got beat 61-14 by Viger last week. I just expect Thompson to really just control this game. Seaburn should have another outstanding performance on the defensive side. You look at Cam Pritchett and Ami Malala, they should feast on this weekend Tuscaloosa County offense. And I just think Thompson, they're going to bounce back fine tonight. They'll start region playoff 1-0, and I think that's what we all think here. And I hate to shy away from Chris Bell, but that's the matter of the fact we're going to face tonight.
Yeah, Andrew, quickly to you. I mean, it's going to be pretty straightforward.
Exactly. It's going to be a straightforward night for the Thompson offense. They're going to start out early, start out strong. I think Trent Seaborn builds off that great second half he had last week against Grayson and really takes command of this offense. Expect them to mix in a little bit of the run as well, and that defense is just going to continue to pound the ball and get stops as they have the last few weeks. This is a really good, really scary Thompson defense that, even though they lost a few guys coming off last year, looks like they absolutely have not missed a step.
Yeah.
It's the most dangerous team in Class 7A for a reason. I've got to ride with the Warriors.
Yeah. Well, let's go on to Oak Mountain Prattville. We got about 15 minutes before kickoff now. So let's head to Oak Mountain Prattville. Before we talk about this game, got to tell you once again about Wayne's Pest Control. While the Oak Mountain Eagles are playing defense against their opponent, Wayne's Pest Control is playing defense for your home. This football season, don't let mosquitoes, fleas, or ticks sideline your family's outdoor fun. Wayne's environmentally safe mosquito treatments will keep your yard clear, and their affordable Mosquito Plus program will also eliminate fleas and ticks. Protect your family today and take a bite out of the great outdoors. For quality service and peace of mind, trust Wayne's Pest Control. Call 866-WAYNES-1 or visit callwaynes.com. So, Andrew, let me start with you on this one. Your thoughts on Oak Mountain and Prattville, a huge game. Oak Mountain sitting at 2-0 right now, a chance to get to 3-0, and I think they figured some things out with both sides of the ball through the first 2 weeks of the season.
Yeah, last week felt like a really big week for them as they built off the solid defensive performance that they had in week 1 and let the offense shine forward in week 2. And they definitely needed the offense in week 2 because the defense wasn't all there consistently. They got off to a big start with a couple big touchdowns, a few big stops, and then they let their foot off the gas, let Pelham catch up. It was a Pelham team that you couldn't let catch up to you because they have a really good offense that's been improved since last year. And I do think that this Prattville team is built a little bit similarly to where it can hurt you if you really give them the space. So I expect another shootout tonight, although if Oak Mountain's defense does come out to play to a bit of its potential that the individual pieces has shown this year, I think Oak Mountain's definitely going to have the edge in this one and will win a little bit more comfortably. I still expect the Eagles to win just because of what they've built on the ground with Marty Myricks and just that continued development we've seen from Charlie Vaccarella in the receiving corps.
Yeah, I was about to say Charlie stepped up big time last week. Obviously, the Hail Mary pass at the end to Colby King. But Jaden Aparicio Bailey coming over and playing both sides as well now. He and Colby King give Vaccarella, who's got a strong arm for a young player, some good targets to throw the football to, in addition to some other guys. So, Tyler, do you think that's ultimately enough for this offense to be able to make the big plays and the defense to play as well as they have at times this year to be able to pick up a win over Prattville?
Yeah, I think you just said the matter is you can't get complacent if you're Oak Mountain. And Prattville's a very, very physical team. Marty Myricks, Charlie Vaccarella, both going to have to be on point in order to get around this Prattville defense. And when Prattville gets on offense, watch out for Tristan Blackman. He's a Bowling Green commit running back, 3-star out of Prattville. And I think you're just looking. You got to stop this physical Prattville offense, get around the physical Prattville defense, and it's just going to be a challenge. Shane McComb's got to take, and his squad has got to take advantage of this challenge and get a win here tonight. But ultimately, for the first time this season, I think this is where Oak Mountain falls on the road, especially after the way last year's matchup went. They fell the same way.
Yeah, and Oak Mountain riding that high, but they're still not satisfied with how last week went because they felt that game shouldn't have been as close as it was. McComb preached that after the game. They know how important the start is right now for them. This is a game they have to win because next week's Thompson, the week after that Tuscaloosa County. You get through this one undefeated, there's a good chance you're sitting at 4-1 through the first 5 weeks of the season, but you really have to have this game if you want a shot, any chance at the playoffs out of Class 7A Region 3. Well, that brings us to the game of the week right here at Chelsea High School, who's welcoming Pelham to town, fresh off of that heartbreaking loss against Oak Mountain last week. A back-and-forth battle. They never gave up in that one. It was a lot of fun to see the Panthers in that one. Before we talk about this game, I got to tell you about 3D Air Services, proud sponsors of the Pelham Panthers and Briarwood Lions, who were winners last night. But since 2005, 3D Air Services has proudly called Shelby County home. They're more than just a trusted HVAC company. They're your neighbors, friends, and supporters. From keeping your home comfortable year-round to sponsoring local schools and athletic programs, they are committed to making a difference in our community. Just ask your neighbor. Chances are they've already been there. As proud sponsors of the Pelham Panthers, 3D Air believes in the power of teamwork, dedication, and community spirit, values they carry with them to every job they do. 3D Air Services, your trusted neighbor, keeping Shelby County comfortable, one home at a time. So, guys, that takes us our final game to talk about tonight, the game of the week, Chelsea and Pelham, a county battle to open region play. It doesn't get any bigger than that. This is a momentum builder for both of these teams. Pelham looking to get on the winning track, sitting at 0-2. Chelsea 2-0 in this one. We saw what this game did, really, in my opinion, for Chelsea a year ago, kind of propelled them to that nice undefeated start and built their momentum. I think Pelham can compete in this game, make it a fun one. If they win it, I think it can propel them this year. So, guys, when you look at this matchup, Tyler, I'll start with you. What is the key in your opinion, and who do you think walks away the winner?
Well, I mean, Pelham is better than an 0-2 team. Let's be quite frank, guys. And Dylan Smith to Marcus Arnold is a pure connection. Marcus Arnold just received his first D1 offer from Georgia State. You've got to see some momentum going there for this Pelham offense, especially with Jordan Winston at Arnold's side. But they have to have the determination to win this game. They have to believe in themselves. The margin of their defeats is 9 points combined between the first two games. So the offense has to go wild tonight. I mean, I think they have the determination, but they have to win the offensive shootout because Chelsea has the dynamic running back duo of Morgan Barnes and Chase Malone. That three-quarterback system is so successful. I think this just is going to go wild tonight, guys, back and forth on the scoreboard. But ultimately, I just think Chelsea is going to have the win tonight and just be the more powerful team at the end as they tire that Pelham defense down.
Yeah, Andrew, we'll go straight into it with you. This is a game in which I think both defense, Tyler talked about it a second ago. I'll talk about it in a minute. But the defenses, to me, this is where one of them is going to have to show up tonight.
Yeah, it's going to be a most stop wins kind of game just because of the electric atmosphere that both of the offenses can generate once they both get going. I really do enjoy what both of these teams are able to generate in different ways, with Chelsea being able to have such a dominant ground game. Both Chase Malone and Morgan Barnes have had incredible first two games of the season, and you really do see a lot of potential in this Chelsea pass game as well, to where I think they have a little bit more of a diversified attack and a little bit of a stronger attack than they did last season. So that's super exciting for them going forward. But then you look at this Pelham team, and it's just got a little bit of an edge to it. I really enjoy watching this team go at it, and I really do think that the pass game has also taken a massive step forward this week as well. You look at Dylan Smith and what he was able to do with some of those big throws last week. That connection with Marcus Arnold absolutely hitting for about 150 yards last week. Smith himself going for over 200 yards as well. So you look at both of those offenses, it's a lot to like about both of them, and a lot of weapons to stop on both sides. So both of these defenses, they have the guys in place. They just haven't necessarily gotten some of those stops consistently, whether that be along the edges or up front. So definitely going to have to look and see which of these teams takes advantage of those guys that they have. You look over at Chelsea's side, they got guys like Porter Schott, Briston Hardy at the second level at the linebacker spot who can help as well. But it's been the secondary and playing along the edges that has really made this team a little bit vulnerable at times. And so I'm definitely going to expect some improvement from there if they're going to want to get a win against an explosive Pelham team that likes to air it out through the quarterback position to the receivers. And then with Pelham, just a pretty solid team all around with some good pieces, and they're just going to have to get this Chelsea offense off the field at some point in order to win. I think Chelsea just a little bit stronger, in my opinion, especially in the run game. I think they use that dominant run game to pace the game, bleed some clock, and end up with the most touchdowns.
Well, I think what that does too is that helps both defenses actually. They sustain those drives. It's going to limit the scoring at times, but there's going to be some explosive plays that both offenses have in this one too. I think you look at that pounding running attack with two running backs for Chelsea. To me, that's what benefits them the most in this game, because by the second half, you're going to see a Chelsea rushing attack that has still been fresh at that point so far this season. I think that continues to be the case tonight. But to me, it's the consistency on defense. Chelsea's made big plays defensively, and then they've given up big plays. So they've got to find a way to be consistent if they want to create some separation in this game. If they don't play consistently on that side of the ball tonight, this is going to be just like what we saw last week with Pelham. in Oak Mountain, it's going to go down to the fourth quarter in a one-score game. So we'll see which team handles that pressure. Pelham in the same situation. They can make some explosive plays, but they can be inconsistent on both sides of the ball at times as well. So whoever has that consistency factor tonight, to me, comes out, protects the football, and has those sustained drives is going to walk away with the win. I think the freshness of that running game for the Chelsea Hornets in the second half will ultimately be the difference maker here in this game. Well, guys, the Chelsea Hornets about to walk through the kids' tunnel here just to my left. So it's game time. We are about 7 minutes away. Quick closing thoughts from the two of you, and then we'll head out.
It's put up or shut up time for these teams.
Yep.
You start region play this week. This is where the games start counting for the playoffs. Interested to see which teams approach it with that level of intensity, with that level of desire to go out and get that first win.
This is where it's really time to show up, guys. Let's have some fun. I think we're going to have a lot of good games tonight. Let's do it.
Yep, region play is here. We are a go. It's time to play. The playoffs are going to ride on each and every game here moving forward, and some manageable games for a lot of teams tonight. So we'll see who all walks away with the wins. Follow us on X at Alec Etheridge SC. Tyler, I can't even remember yours now. Why don't you give them yours real quick?
At T Rayleigh 34, guys.
T Rayleigh 34. There you go. And Andrew T. Simonson over there on X. We'll have live updates all night for you. We'll have stories, photos, videos, everything you can imagine on X, on Facebook, on our website, on YouTube, Instagram stuff coming all next week along with YouTube Shorts. So stay tuned all week, all night for all the football coverage. Enjoy your football Friday night, and we'll see you next week.